guys, it's Charlene from the Crafty Art Shack, and today we're going to be working on a special project that you can do with your kids or grandkids that will be a cute gift for them to give away. Or you could even use it as a gift tag on your packages that you wrap up. Or you could use it for so many things. Use your imagination. You guys, let's get to the craft desk and get started with this special project today. All right, you guys, we're here at the craft desk, and today we're going to make some salt dough ornaments, and I'm going to show you a real easy recipe. You're going to need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and that's a half a cup of salt that I'm adding to that, and I'm going to blend it well. Now, you'll want to get yourself set up so that you'll have a place to work all of this in, and I put a cutting board, a plastic cutting board underneath my bowl there, and got me a rolling pin out, and I'm just using a spatula and getting my salt mixed in really well. This is really important on this step, but this is a super easy project, great for working with kids. And we're just going to continue to mix it. Going to make us a little hole right in the center. Now we're going to take 3/4 cup of warm water. Now, because I'm at my craft desk, I got a Yeti cup or one of those insulated cups and put some warm water in it. And you want to pour that right in the center of that. And don't add all of it at once. Just keep working with it and pouring it in a little at a time, making sure that your doughs get mixed in really good. And if I was y'all, I would do this in your kitchen and let your kids get involved in this, or your grandkids get involved. This is a great thing to do for the holidays, for them to work on, to have something to do once they get out of school. And you guys know I don't like to get a lot of stuff on my hands, but I will put my hands in this in a few minutes. And you see I'm slowly adding that water. And I'm trying to leave all of this in so that you could see just how that dough is supposed to look instead of just rushing through it. It's going to look, that water's not going to mix in too well at first. And you're going to get to a point where you're going to have to stick your hand in this stuff. I used to be a baker for Publix, and I had my hands in dough all the time. I guess, I don't know if that's the reason why I don't like stuff on my hands or not, but I constantly wash my hands. But you're just going to continue to mix this up, and if you kind of chop up those pieces as they start clumping up, make sure you wipe your spatula down so that you get that back into your mix. This will make quite a few ornaments, you guys. I think I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ornaments out of this, but I rolled my dough too thick. You'll want to make sure you roll your dough out a little bit thinner than what I did mine for using cookie cutters. You only want your dough to be about a little bit less than 1/4 inch thick. I made mine 1/4 inch, and it took them quite a while to dry. I should have cut them down some. Now my little gnomes that I cut out, or that I made by hand, those turned out perfect. They were the perfect thickness and everything. And you just keep mixing this up, and this is what it looks like. Okay, now we're going to go into rolling it out. Okay, you guys, when you roll this out, you're just going to, I'm skipped a lot of the stuff because I'm not showing you all of those little round ornaments that I did. Some of those I stamped on, but what I'm doing here now is I'm making one of the little gnomes, and I'll show you all the gnomes that I did in this video because there's different things that I did to make these. Now, to make this gnome, I rolled out 2 little balls of dough, and you see me taking that little ice pick looking thing. That came from Harbor Freight. You can take, and then I'm going to put his little nose on there, but you want to take and cut your dough together like that if you're doing it, because it's going to help it adhere to each other. I don't know how to say that any other way. Now I'm going to take and make his little beard pieces on this one. This is how I'm doing his, and I'm looking to see how I want it. If I didn't like it, see, I took it and squished it back together because I didn't like how it was turning out. You just keep working that dough until you get it to look like you want it to. And then I'm taking a pair of tweezers there, and I'm taking and just making that indentation between his, to the top of his hat, look a little different. And then I'm putting my little round ball up there, and you want to make sure you squish these pieces together. Now, one of my little gnomes that I made, I had to go back and hot glue the little ball on the end of his hat because I didn't get it squished together really well. Now I'm just rolling out a little tube and making his hat. And I'm going to just let the video run and y'all watch the rest of this part, because y'all don't need me to give you instructions, and you can see what I did. You guys, I put those in the oven at 250 degrees for about 2 hours and let them get good and dried out. Now I turn it over on the back side, and what you see me doing here is I'm painting the backs of all of my little ornaments that I'm making. Because these are going to be gifts, I want to make sure that I use this Duraclear High Gloss finish on these so that they turn out sealed and everything on the back. Now, I painted them white because I didn't want that dough look on the back, and now I'm sealing them with the Duragloss. And then after that's dry, I'm going to take a Uniball gel pen in gold, and I'm going to write Merry Christmas 2021, because whoever I give these to as a gift, that way they'll know. So I've got those all done. Now I'm going to move to the front and I'm going to paint all of them white before I do anything else. And the reason why I use an old brush because I want to put a base coat of white on before I do anything. And I had to put about 2 coats of base coat, but if you use a grit acrylic paint, you only have to use 1 coat. Now, I know I just showed you brown, but I didn't use brown. I went back and changed the color of my little gnome's nose. I painted all of their noses red first because you guys know I like my gnomes to have little red noses in the wintertime because it's cold outside. And what do all of our noses do? They turn red. So now I'm going to go back and paint all of their little hats. I paint 2 of them, or 1 solid red and 2 of them solid green. And then I'm going to take that one that I put the little lines in. You're going to want to make sure you go around the sides of the edges of these as well. But I'm going to paint each one of them to be their own unique thing. And you see, this one I put little lines in when I baked him, before I baked him. And so I'm going to go and paint each one of those little lines a red stripe. So his hat ends up being red and white. You guys, these just turned out way too cute. And I just loved them. And these make great gift tags on a box and as a decoration instead of a bow. A lot of times I don't put bows on my packages because when you put the bows on your package, what happens? They always fall off. You have to put them back on, or you have to tie them on there really good so they don't fall off. So instead of doing that, I like to put gift tags on them, and that way when a gift comes out from under the tree, I know it's one I'm giving because it's got a cute little ornament or something on it. Okay, I've got all their noses painted. Now I'm going to go back and paint their little beards. Now I'm using 2 colors of paint here to paint this little beard. And then I'm going to paint his hat green. And the reason why I use 2 colors is to give it that our hair is not all one color, so I didn't want their hair to be all one color. Now this guy, I'm going to give him a grayish colored beard. And first I put some black and white on there, and it didn't turn out like I wanted it. So I went back and put some more white in it, and it turned out like I wanted it. Then I went and painted a lighter gray on this little guy. Added some little highlights in the little slits that I made and wiped that down and put some more white over the top of that. So he has a grayish white beard, and each one of them I gave a different color. Now I'm putting glue down. This is an art glitter glue because I'm going to use my glitter, basic glitter that I always tell y'all to get and keep in your toolkit because that's just going to make them shine. And I thought each one of these guys needed a little bit of glitter on their hats to make them stand out and be special. Now, you guys, like I said, you don't have to go to all these details. This is just what I do when I make mine. But you guys, let your kids have fun. This is like playing in Play-Doh for them, and then they can paint them, and they can give them away as Christmas gifts. That's the reason why I put out this video before I did any other gifts, because it's something that your kids can do when they get out of school, and it's something that they can make. You can set it up where one day you make them and then the next day you come back and paint them. Now you don't have to have an oven for these. You can let them dry in the open air. It takes about 4 to 7 days depending on how warm your house is. But you guys, these are so cute. And I have a bunch of other ones that I started showing y'all at the beginning of the video. Those are also I'm also gonna do those, but you guys can use cookie cutters, use your imagination, make them by hand, just do cute little things. You guys, these are adorable. Then I'm gonna take each one of these and I'm gonna seal them all with this gloss. Now, this step doesn't have to be done with the kids, but if it's something that you're given as a gift, it just makes it that much nicer. Okay, now I went in and added some jute rope to my little gnomes because they needed a hanger. When you're making these, don't forget to make a little hole in the top of their hat so that you have a way to hang them. And this is another thing that you can do with them that makes it user friendly for kids. You can add those little stickers to the tops of the hats for each of your little gnomes. Like, see, that one right there has the little Christmas tree, and then there's one with the snowflake. All right, you guys, we just got back from the craft disc, and look at those little gnome ornament gifts that we're going to give away at Christmas. And you guys, I had a lot of fun making these. You can make these with your kids. You can do the gnomes. You can do other little projects. We did cut out some other little projects that we're going to be doing, not here on the video, but that I'm going to have that can be painted. These can be painted by your grandkids, your kids, if you make them up ahead of time, or let them help you make them, and they'll have a lot of fun. You can do them handmade like these are, or you can cut them out with a cookie cutter, okay? And let them get involved and help make these, and then let them dry. Once they're dry, come back another day and paint them. You guys, these are cheap, inexpensive, and something that you can make to decorate around your home or to give as gifts, or let your imagination run wild. You guys, that'll do it for this episode of the Crafty Art Shack. We love you guys. We hope you're subscribed. If you're not, subscribe because it's free. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Crafty Art Shack. We'll see you later. Bye.
Hi guys, it's Charlene from the Crafty Art Shack, and I'm doing the beginning. That's what we do in the end. You want to know why? It's not that I forget. It's that I see something that is not right in my mind, and so it's like saying, "Hi guys, it's Charlene from the Crafty Art Shack, and today." And then I forget whatever I'm talking about. But it's not like I forget. It's like, oh, my mind just went somewhere else. We're going to be making a special gift. I messed it up. Look, there's something in the camera range. Just a minute. Really? Serious? This dumb, it didn't work. You guys, sometimes I get bored. No, seriously, that's what happens. They don't say, somebody doesn't say squirrel. It's just squirrel goes off in my head. It's like saying to a dog, squirrel. And the dog goes, shoo, pew. We'll see you later. Bye.